Hey everyone, this is Dylan, and today I'm going to be doing something a little different because I've never actually done like a regular television show review, but today I'm going to be doing a regular television show review. So this is for the show Channel Zero, and more specifically Channel Zero No End House, which is the second season of the show. So Channel Zero is an anthology show that airs on Sci-Fi, and each season is 6 episodes, 6-hour-long episodes, so it's pretty short, and every season revolves around a popular creepypasta. So I think that idea is really cool, that we're bringing in these other types of entertainment and adapting them for television or movies or things, because I think everyone is super familiar with the Slender Man creepypasta. That's the only one that I know about. But this is bringing in other creepypastas that people might not know about that are also just as interesting. So the way that I'm going to review, describe, give you a synopsis of this is I'm basically going to explain what happens in the first episode. So, slight spoilers, but I think that it's necessary in order to kind of get a real feel for what's going on in the show. So the main characters are Margot and her friend Jules. Jules kind of goes away for the summer, and Margot is left at home. About a year ago from the show, Jules' father had died in this accident. He had taken some allergy medication or some medication, and he ended up being allergic to it, and he basically ended up dying of anaphylactic shock, and Margot was the one that found him. So Jules comes back at the end of the summer and is like, hey, let's go to this party. So they go to this party, and Jules has a date, and she kind of tries to set Margot up with this guy, and the guy is cool and everything, and he's like, hey, have you heard of this No End House? Or this haunted house. That's what it's called, kind of. But I think it's also called No End House. So she's like, no. And he's basically like, it's 6 rooms, and each room is scarier than the next. And at any point after you've completed a room, you're able to exit or go on to the next room. So there's this thing where if anyone that's made it to the 6th room has never been seen again, kind of thing. So it's kind of like this tall tale type thing, oh, it's so scary, you'll never be seen again. So the 4 of them decide that they're going to go to this haunted house thing, and it's in Margot's neighborhood, Margot and Jules' neighborhood. So they end up going, and there's a bunch of people in line, because it's this secret thing where you don't ever know where it's going to be. You get a text message or something, and it gives you the address, and you show up. So there's other people there. They go in, and while Margot and her friends are waiting in line, so they go into the house. The door shuts behind them, because it's this black. I don't think there's a picture on here, but it's this giant black house, no windows. There's a door in the front and a door in the back. So they go in, and the door shuts behind them. It's the 4 of them, and then 3 other people as a group. And there's this giant, you've got this right here. It says, beware the cannibals, and the number 1. So each door comes up with this number. So they go into the first room. So the first room has a bunch of busts on these podiums. It's a living room area type thing, and there's a bunch of busts on them. And it turns out that the busts are actually the heads of all of the people that are in that group. So it's kind of creepy, because they're how in the world would they have known that we were going to be here, and how would they have gotten these busts done so fast? So they're like kind of inspecting them and everything, and then all of a sudden the lights go out. And when the lights come back on, the busts have been shattered, and there's like these weird hands that are like, look like they're ripping the busts apart and stuff. And then the next door opens. So somebody is like, I'm leaving. So they leave. And then the other ones go into the next room. So the next room I can only kind of describe as it's almost like a ship. Like, it reminds me of a ship. There's no windows. There's like these, it looks like portholes, but they're like the lights for the room. And it's kind of this like, it looks like the room had been painted blue. And there's also like these, like it's not like a perfect square. Like the corners of the rooms are rounded. So everything's rounded. It just really reminds me of like the room of a ship, like the hull of a ship kind of. And so they get in there, and it's like there's no doors on the walls. There's really nothing. So once the door shuts, it's flush and you can't really do anything. And then the lights go out, and there's a man who shows up, and he's in a mask. He's actually right here, if you can see that. And so he kind of like starts walking around this room and like kind of inspecting everyone. And then he whispers something to Margot, and then the lights go off again. And one of the other people that were with them in the group is like gone, disappears, and there's like a trail of blood that leads to the wall. And so they were like, what the heck? So they all go into the next room, or they go into the next room, some people leave. And so we still have the core for Margot, Jules, and then the two guys. And then we have them. So then I think it's at this point, not 100% sure, so don't quote me, but this is where they start to get separated. So you've got, it's like the third room is one at a time. So Margot, and we only see what Margot's side of aspect of this in this first episode. So it's this giant long hallway, and there's like a mirror in the middle of the hallway. So she starts walking down this hallway to get to the next room, and there ends up being someone behind the mirror. And we are like, okay, that's kind of creepy. So she like gets around the mirror and gets to the end of the hall and goes into the next room. So she's in the fourth room, and the fourth room is this, it's like a video wall, and she's like seeing these things from like her memories and stuff, and it's kind of like freaking her out. And then all of a sudden the door opens and she goes into the fifth room. So the fifth room is set up exactly like her living room, and there's this man that appears to be, his face appears to be swollen, and it's supposed to be like her father. So we are like, what the heck is going on? So then there's like childhood memory like videos playing on the television, and the guy starts doing these weird things, and then like gives her a hug or something, and the door to the next room opens, so she goes. But it's not clear whether she is going to the next room or the exit. So she goes out the door, and she's outside the house. She had went out through the back. And the thing about this house is, it's a big house, but these rooms that are in the house, it's like, how does that all fit in that one house? So she like kind of waits around a little bit to see if Jules or the other two boys come out. And Jules ends up coming out, and they're like, should we wait around or should we not? So they go back to their car. Jules tries to start the car, but the car doesn't start. So they end up walking back to their houses. Jules goes to her house, and Margot goes to her house. So Margot goes in to her house, and she hears like humming or whatever coming from the kitchen. So she goes out to the kitchen, and who is there but her dad, who she thought had died, and there's really no explanation for it. And then we also see Jules going to her house, but on the the house number says the number 6. So that's kind of where the first episode ends. So it's unclear at the end of this first episode whether or not they have actually left the house or if they are in room 6. And I think that overall, I thought that the show is really good. It definitely had enough substance to keep my attention and keep me wanting to come back for more. And then after it was over, wanting to tell other people about the show. I did watch the 3rd season because all the seasons are different. So you can watch in any order you want, or you don't have to watch one at all. So that's a really nice thing about this show. And so I did watch the 3rd season. That one was pretty good as well. And maybe once I get the DVD of it, I will do a review like this as well. But I think that that is it for this video. It's kind of hard to explain the show without giving too much away. Like, I feel like I gave a lot away, but I think that you have to get someone interested in the show because it's kind of weird. So it's basically so the rest of the show plays out as Margot and Jules trying to figure out what's going on, if they're still in the house, if they're not in the house, and all of that jazz. So that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think about Channel Zero. If you've seen Channel Zero, let me know what you think about the No End House season. And if you have any other TV seasons or movies or anything that you would like to see a review from me on, let me know in the description or in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching, and remember, if you're not already subscribed and you'd like to be, please hit that subscribe button down below and give this video a like if you liked it. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great day. Bye.